Welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circlebar Burkle. Here with my co-host today, Aaron. Go ahead and say hi, Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Whoops. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So this video we'll be talking about the AFC playoff picture. There are 6 teams that sit at 7-6 right now, along with the Cleveland Browns at 8-5. All those teams fighting for those 3 wildcard spots in the AFC. We're just going to kind of look into a little bit of how these teams got here, but more importantly, who we think is going to come out on top going forward.
And why the Chiefs are going to have a wild card spot, because they lose the division.
No, more so we're going to pick the team that beats the Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So I guess taking a little bit of a look at the AFC North teams here in the AFC, or in the wild card picture, I should say. The Ravens, kind of far and away, are winning that division. But the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals are all fighting for those wild card spots. As I mentioned earlier, the Browns sit at 8-5, but the Steelers and Bengals are both 7-6.
Imagine they all get in.
That would be crazy. I think I actually predicted that was a possibility in an earlier video we did on this channel a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so. But give me one second.
I don't think they can, because the Bengals play both the Steelers and the Browns again.
Yeah, I think
I
they
don't
have
think
too
they
many. Yeah, I think it's too difficult now. But yeah, I think I predicted earlier in the year that the Steelers would be the one team out of the AFC North that would most likely miss the playoffs. That was before the Joe Burrow injury, keep in mind. So now I think the Bengals are more likely to miss. But all of a sudden, they have a resurgence with Jake Browning under center.
Orange
Burrow-
shotgun, we don't judge.
Do what?
Orange shotgun, we don't judge.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You're frozen, so.
Oh. But yeah, Jake Browning kind of injecting some life into that Cincinnati team. The offense seems to be playing better than ever this year. And all of a sudden they're beating teams that they probably shouldn't be able to beat without Joe Burrow under center. So with them sitting at 7-6, they maybe have an outside chance of making it going forward, but they also have a remaining schedule of the Vikings, Steelers, Chiefs, and Browns. So that Chiefs and Browns games are both going to be pretty difficult for the Bengals. And then the Steelers is going to could determine which one of those two teams maybe get that wild card spot. So, what are your thoughts on the AFC North? Because it kind of seems like the Browns and Steelers are gonna be the ones to make the playoffs in it, if anybody does from that division, not named the Ravens.
Yeah, I think the Browns probably have definitely the best shot to make it. Not only do they have a 1-game lead, but they've got the Bears, who are, I think, sneaky good, kind of flying under the radar now that Justin Fields is healthy. But the Texans, with their losses on offense due to injuries, that should be a win for them. Jets, we all kind of know what they are, granted. Zach Wilson did come out last week and kind of light it up. We'll see if he can continue that the rest of the season. And then they have the Bengals. So only one in-division game left for them, whereas I think the Bengals have 2 and the Steelers have 2 as well. So I would say I would probably give the Steelers a slight edge over the Bengals, just because that fight between them is going to be your classic defensive battle between AFC North teams.
Yeah.
And I think the Steelers have a better defense. So
Yeah. Looking at another division that's got a few teams in the wild card hunt. AFC South, the Colts and Texans both sit at 7-6 as well. Um, Jacksonville Jaguars with a 1 game lead. So who knows? Maybe one of those two teams could somehow, with the Trevor Lawrence injury, jump up and steal the division title this year. But assuming those two teams are fighting for the wild card spot, um, the Texans kind of look like they're at a little bit of a disadvantage now that all those injuries have the injury bugs kind of made its way down to Houston. First Tank Dell, then C.J. Stroud with the concussion, and I believe Nico Collins also got hurt this game. Not sure how long he's going to be out. And then the Colts, Gardner Minshew being a very capable quarterback under center for them. Jonathan Taylor playing very well this year. But they did just lose a tough game to the Bengals, where they did not play their best football, losing 34-14 right there. Obviously hurting their chances at a playoff spot, but what are your thoughts on those AFC South teams, Colts and Texans? Do you think either of those teams maybe make it in? Probably one has to, maybe.
Yeah, I would probably. I think if you're leaning one way, I think I would have to lean towards Indianapolis. I think they've got a little bit easier remaining schedule, and they're just healthier at this point.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew has, proven himself to be a worthy backup and probably could start on some teams, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with those big injuries to some of the Texans star players, particularly on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Most of the games are shootouts anyway, so that's real unfortunate for them. And yeah, I would lean towards Indianapolis to get a playoff spot over Houston.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that too. Feels like it's Indianapolis' spot to lose per se. Couple other teams that are sitting at 7-6 that we haven't talked about yet: the Denver Broncos and Buffalo Bills. Obviously, the Denver Broncos about quarter way through the season, no one thought much of them. Definitely didn't see them as a potential playoff team whatsoever. But Russell Wilson, Sean Payton really turned that ship around mid-season. And all of a sudden they look like a competent football team. Kind of really started with those 2 games against the Kansas City Chiefs. They played them tough in the first one, and then came back and beat them in the second. And ever since then, it seems like they've really turned their season around. So, I unfortunately think they've got a good shot at making the playoffs. As much as that hurts to say as a Chiefs fan, but the kind of football they're playing right now, they're definitely on the right track. And then with the Bills, I mean, obviously they're just coming off of a really, really big win over the Kansas City Chiefs. That's basically their Super Bowl every single season, so congrats to you. 3 years in a row you've won the Super Bowl, beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. Still have yet to do it in the playoffs when it matters, but I'm proud of you guys for doing it in the regular season. However, now that you've hit the climax of your season, Buffalo, that means the next step is downhill from there, especially when you're on the Josh Allen roller coaster. So I just don't see you being able to make up enough ground with you sitting at the 11th seed right now to make the playoffs. And even if you do, and you're lucky enough to meet Kansas City, they're going to somehow put together one game just to beat you guys in the playoffs, because that's what we do. I have enough faith in them to do that. So, Aaron, what do you think of the Broncos and the Bills?
I think it's kind of a long shot for the Bills. I don't think they, at this point, really have any tiebreakers over the teams ahead of them. whereas Denver has the tiebreaker over Buffalo based on head-to-head. I also kind of think Denver's a long shot because they don't really have any tiebreakers at this point over teams ahead of them.
Don't need a tiebreaker if you had a better record.
I mean, Denver's got probably one, maybe two losses left. Whereas
I mean,
Indy
you got to keep in
might
mind
have one.
Justin Herbert's out for the year.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe two. I would probably say two if Justin Herbert was healthy, but who knows what that team can do without Justin Herbert. You would imagine not much better, but
Is Keenan Allen throwing the football?
hey, he might. He might. Throw
I think
Staley
the
out there, see what he can do.
I think the Broncos got. I mean, I think people would love to hit Brandon Staley.
Oh yeah, his own defense would want to come
Yeah,
after actually.
yeah, his own defense. That's right.
But yeah, I think they're both kind of long shots. I think Indianapolis has a bit easier road ahead of them than the Broncos do. So
yeah, it's a long shot for both teams, but I think if either of them were to make it, I think it would be the Broncos. They seem to have. I mean, you never know with the Lions either. The Lions could easily lose that game. Well, especially with how the Broncos are playing, I could easily see them winning out and finishing the year at 11-6, which would definitely put them in the playoffs at that point. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Hey, can't forget about the Patriots. That's a dangerous team right there.
Hey, they're known to keep teams under 6 points and still lose games. So
yeah.
Yep, I think they've lost 2 games, 6-0, 3-0 this year, which is
that
back
was
to back.
Bailey Zappi.
Back to back, which
Bailey
is impressive.
Zappi's back, baby.
Zappy time. But yeah, and then if you look at the bottom of the division, I don't think the Chargers, Raiders, Jets, or Titans can make up any ground. Wow, the Patriots are the worst team in the AFC. That's a sight to behold.
They're officially eliminated too.
Never thought I'd see the day where the Patriots are the first team in the AFC eliminated. I thought they'd rule the NFL forever.
Thought they'd just start replacing Tom Brady's limbs.
I guess. I guess.
Just...
Do you think the Patriots are going to regret winning that game?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because they were locked into the 2 pick. The second pick, and now they're tied with the Cardinals. And the Cardinals know how to lose.
Hence why they traded away Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see one of these other teams that are in the 2 or 3 spot trading up with the Bears to have the Bears fall back and get some more draft capital. And,
we should do a
up
draft.
more players.
We should do a draft spot video next week or something. This is fun to look at because I would love to see the Commanders slide down to like the 2 pick and get Marvin Harrison Jr. for Sam Howell.
That'd be a stacked receiving core.
That'd be crazy, right?
I think they have other problems, but
I mean, sure, he'd have 1 second to throw to him, but could you imagine?
Sure, they just traded Sweat and Young. They don't need.
I mean, I think they should get O-line if they can, to be honest, but
yeah.
Unless they don't think Sam Howell's the truth, but. I'd love to do a Commanders video too, but I don't
think Ron Rivera is the truth.
No, I think Bieniemy should take over personally.
See, I don't know. See, this is kind of what we talked about last year with
Bieniemy
going over to them, and being stuck in a bad situation where Ron, given any other circumstances, should be fired midway through the season. Then he gets
Yeah.
stuck in a interim coaching job. Instead, the owner sells the team, and the team is more than likely going to look to overhaul everything. And who knows if they consider the enemy for head coaching job
Well, in my
or
opinion, the
even offensive
offense.
coordinator. Who knows?
Well, in my opinion, I don't think the offense is really the problem outside the turnovers.
Right, but it's like he wasn't their guy. They didn't bring him in. You know,
Yeah, I guess, yeah,
it's
that's
the
a good
incentive
point.
to build your own team as to keep somebody there just because they're already there.
Yeah. Should we do an Eric Bieniemy video? You think people would watch that?
I'd watch that.
I don't think anybody else would watch that, unfortunately.
And that seems like maybe an off-season video.
Maybe, maybe we just do that for funsies in like June.
Yeah,
Well, unless you have anything else, I think
no.
that'll do it for the Most Top Professional Sports Channel on YouTube. Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Circle Burkle. Here's the coach today, Aaron. Go and say bye, Aaron.
Byron.
All right. Did you enjoy this? Please make sure to like and subscribe. Other than that, deuces.